Welcome to the chapter 266 leaks. Guys, look, I'm excited. I know you're excited. This has been the most dreadful break week of all time. Of course, Gege is gonna show us a domain expansion 264, show us nothing about it in 265, and then have a break week on top, just dragging this thing out as long as he possibly can. I love Jujutsu Kaisen, man, but sometimes I be getting frustrated with the series. With that said, I'm not going to drag on this intro any longer. I know what you guys are here for. So yeah, if you enjoy content such as this, don't forget to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, man. We both win in the end. And now, let's get into these leaks. So the chapter begins with Yuji listening to Megumi's soul. Yes guys, Megumi's back. And Megumi says that he wanted to create a world where Sumiki would not have to face the unfairness of the current world. And if you really look back at Megumi's character, the fairness, unfairness of the world, that's always been a thing with him. He goes on to say that even if I couldn't create such a world, I wanted to maintain that fragile life at least while I was alive and she was in my sight. He basically saying he wanted to protect her, doing all he could. Now, this week, guys, I do have to say, bear with me. I just got off of a 12-hour flight to Hawaii. I'm tired, but I was like, yo, the boy gotta come through. So yeah, I may stutter here and there or mess up some things without even realizing. Just wanted to put that notice out. Let's continue with the chapter. So Megumi continues to explain his dream world to Yuji. He says that he's always wanted to eat meals that were made out of habits, basically saying that everyday meals, watching the sunlit laundry, just chilling with his laundry, and walking side by side with a person like you, Yuji, and seeing off Sumiki. All Megumi's ever wanted was just a peaceful life with a good friend next to him, and I guess his sister or whatever, his half-sister is, I don't even think they're related, but you know what I'm getting at. And it's interesting because really, I think our entire cast has always just wanted a normal, fair life, and they haven't been able to get it. That's just something I'm really noticing as of recent, and it's quite tragic. And Megumi attempts to end the conversation by saying it's okay now, but Yuji explains how he's come to understand the choices of people and how he has to face these harsh, unavoidable realities. And that's why, and he goes on to try and basically persuade Megumi to find his way. And what Yuji really gets into is actually about his grandfather. His grandfather was dealing with cancer, and the reason why he passed away was not because of the cancer, but he chose to go into euthanasia, basically taking his own life with the doctor's help before the cancer could really get to him. And he begins to use this experience to relate to his own experiences at Jujutsu Tech. There are just things in life that you're going to have to face no matter what. No matter how strong you are, no matter how capable you are, they'll break you down and you have to walk through it even with broken legs. It's a very strong part of the chapter, and I wish that we just got the translations instead of leaks this week because, wow. So Yuji says this is why he can't tell him to live right now. He can't tell Megumi to live right now because he understands how much pain Megumi's going through. So he can't even convince himself to tell Megumi to keep walking. So he's claiming that he's going to save Megumi himself, It's kind of confusing, but I get where it's going. And the battle begins. Yuji versus Sukuna in the flesh is in this chapter. Sukuna instantly opens Hollow Wicker Basket in order to counter Yuji's domain expansion. And Sukuna says he can't use Gojo's method of resetting Burnt Out Curse technique by using RCT because it's too risky to execute since his brain's still affected by the Infinite Void. Even till now, that's still messing with his head. It says a lot about how strong Gojo's domain was. Still the best in the series. The narrator goes on to explain that Hollow Wicker Basket and Simple Domain are weaker in output compared to actual domains, but by keeping the hand sign intact, even after activating Hollow Wicker Basket, he compensated for the output it would lack and continued the fight without getting overwhelmed by the opponent's domain. I don't know if this implies that Hollow Wicker Basket stays up for a little bit and slowly deteriorates after it's been activated within someone's domain. Example, Kashimo could use Hollow Wicker Basket within someone's domain and it's slowly whittled down while it's getting attacked, but it's still there. Whereas Sukuna keeping his hands together keeps it up the whole time. Again, this is all just me interpreting what's just been said about Hollow Wicker Basket. If it has the ability to do that, Kashimo talks are back in business. Again though, please take everything I say in spoiler videos with a grain of salt. We're getting bits and pieces of the real chapter, and the leakers aren't really, they don't be having the best English, so I'd be confused at times. So please, again, for the last time, just take everything I say with a grain of salt. So the battle actually begins, and the choreography here is just better than 257. It begins with the two just jumping toward each other, and then they clash like midair with Yuji grabbing Sukuna's leg, and they're exchanging blows and rolling around. It's very dope. Of course, you guys know I've gotten hit with over 20 copyright strikes this year, so I can't play with the the spoilers and the pictures, anything like that. Hit the link down below. You'll see all of it on Miyamura's Twitter as I go through this chapter. And the battle continues with Sukuna saying he's even shocked and surprised at how angry he got when he's looked down upon by someone. He states to Yuji that to show your pity to me, I can't wait to make every single human other than you atone for what you have done. And if you notice, this has been something Sukuna's been saying over and over. He's going to torture Yuji and destroy everything around him, and then handle Yuji just to break his will. I love the dynamic between these two characters. Then, out of nowhere, we go into a flashback with Child Megumi in the alley where Gojo met him for the first time. And Megumi asks the same question he asked to Gojo, but now, instead of Gojo being there, it's Yuji. Megumi says, "What's with that face?" And Yuji says, "Well, it'll be sad without you, Fushiguro." And right after this flashback ends, guys, guess what happens? Sukuna's leg falls into a pile of shadows. I mean, he doesn't fall into like this big sink of shadows and Megumi takes over or anything, but Megumi's doing something. He's making Sukuna fall over and stuff, so he's active and he's trying to save himself. Megumi is back. And Sukuna then points out that Megumi's soul, which had submerged with the bath, has spewed back to life because of Yuji's dismantles. Not only this, but Maharaga has been completely destroyed and the 10 Shadows technique has lost its function. I think we could have put that together judging from its domain expansion in 259 that had basically every part of the 10 Shadows all bloodied and beaten up. It was kind of implied that the technique was gone at that point. So after Yuji notices what Megumi did to Sukuna to make him trip and fall over, he goes in for a heavy punch that sends Sukuna flying away. Yuji then smiles mid-panel as he realizes that Megumi's fighting back. He's actually back now. And after doing that smile, he runs in to fight Sukuna more and more. And you can really see this victory lap going in. Like, this is when the anime music starts playing. And the fight gets to a point where Yuji and Sukuna grab each other's face and they just start throwing haymakers at each other's face over and over again. We're reaching the end. Yuji manages to overpower Sukuna as he once again activates his Hollow Wicker Basket to shield himself against Yuji's punches. Sukuna then says that my reverse curse technique is pointless against Yuji's strikes, so the Hollow Wicker Basket is about to break. But then, instantly, slashes come out flying and Yuji's cursed tool gauntlets, which he had equipped in his hands, turn into pieces. So yeah, those Claws of Calamity, cursed tool, whatever they were, they're gone and we don't know what they ever did, but we'll find out later, I'm sure. Yuji then realizes that Sukuna's using Gojo's little trick of resetting his Bertao Curse technique with reverse curse technique. I guess he's been able to just take that risk since some time has passed since he said he couldn't. Sukuna then goes to open his domain as he's recovered his curse technique, but Yuji's able to react faster and open his domain faster than Sukuna, which makes Sukuna completely shocked. And we see Yuji strike this pose with 2 of his fingers missing. And in the final page of the chapter, we see this one finger wrapped up in this huge corridor. Now it looks like one of Sukuna's fingers, but it could also be Yuji's fingers turned into a cursed tool, or like how Sukuna made his own fingers into the thing. Who knows? We're gonna get all of our answers next week, as it's stated to be the climax of the arc. Now you're probably gonna ask me, what was the effect of Yuji's domain expansion? Not revealed yet. I really think bro hit that domain expansion sign and some confetti just popped out. I can't front. Like, ain't no way we waited this long for not even an explanation. But you know what? We'll be eating next week. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, supporting, and all the above. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I will drop a more in-depth review like in a couple of days. Peace out.